COVID-19 has impacted our way of life. It's also impacted some of our community's most vulnerable.
CBS 2's Ariana Piper is live in Boise to explain what's happening with child abuse cases during the pandemic.
A spokesperson for the Idaho Children's Trust Fund told me the pandemic has been putting a strain on families and stressing out parents. When she heard the news of the 2-year-old in Garden City who died the other day, she said it just broke her heart. And the prosecution in that case said the toddler suffered from a lot of internal injuries and may have suffered from head trauma as well.
It's just a gut punch. I have 2 little kids myself. My youngest is just 3.
Taryn Yates, the trust fund grant manager and planner for the Idaho Children's Trust Fund, believes many families are struggling due to COVID-19.
The pandemic has really just exacerbated stress that parents already had, and parents are just feeling really isolated. They're cut off from the systems of support that they had. And a lot of parents are working home with their children and not having kind of that normal break that they were getting.
Have reports of child abuse gone up in Idaho due to the pandemic?
The cases that we are seeing are more severe, but we're not necessarily seeing more.
Yates says since the onset of the pandemic, 3 infants have died in the Treasure Valley from abusive head trauma, formerly known as shaken baby syndrome. Before last year, the last death reported was in 2017.
For us to have 3 deaths in relatively a few months was just really concerning, and said to us that something is going on out of the ordinary.
Yates believes the first step to preventing child abuse is looking for families who are struggling and need support.
Certainly, I'm glad that we have professionals that work with children after the fact to begin their healing. But I would really like to see parents get that support early on.
Yates says there are options for parents who are struggling, and they are not alone. How can the community help prevent child abuse?
I would just encourage people to try to be good neighbors, try to connect with people right now, and try to support them. You never know, the smallest interaction can really mean a lot to people, and really giving respite to some parents that really need it right now.
Idaho Children's Trust Fund is partnering with St. Luke's to have a press conference tomorrow to talk about preventing abusive head trauma deaths, which have increased during the pandemic. Live in Boise, Ariana Piper, CBS 2 News.
2 Idaho Falls parents will be